Good morning, everybody. Just wait a second for some folks to get on in here and to drop some links here and there so folks can get in and join us for prep. All right, let's clear this up a little. And we will dive right in. I'm going to try to rattle through this really quickly so we have a good premise for the day. We were in our down trading channel, slipped outside on the invasion news. We have popped back for recovery, almost to the daily mean. We had a slight gap down, but we are now back above this daily squeeze bottom. And it is back intact, right? So let's keep an eye on that. I think we'll see a little bit more downside, but we could very easily hold up here and set up another reversion to the mean kind of move. We are now below the lows from not last week, but the week before. Or at least this low that set this zone that we rejected last week, right? Rejected it Tuesday, rejected it Wednesday. So now we are back at it and kind of running into it right now. We're also at the daily 8, which is this blue cyan line, and we have the daily 21 and 15 up above. So we've got magnets above. We also have POC apparently at 4371. So kind of at the top of this zone. So POC above, we could magnet to it and cannon through it to the daily 21. We also have the daily 200 up above, right? So just key targets and zones to look at above. And then below, we do have this 4273 down to 4260 is a tight little zone that I drew that has provided resistance and support. So if we reject the daily 8, start to slip back to revisit the pre-market lows, we'll be interacting with that zone and interacting with this daily squeeze bottom and this 4250 key level. All right. So anything's possible today. Definitely don't come in wanting to short or wanting to go long. Let's just react and watch our strikes with our beast numbers, and that will help provide direction. Moving on to NQ. Also on ES, we have a 30-minute squeeze. It's a very, let's zoom in a little more. Very small sliver, but we do have a bit of a 30-minute squeeze going on. Oh no, wait, that's 2 hour up there. Let's drop down real quick. Yeah, the 30-minute was intact back here. So basically around this 4327 key level. And probably about down to this 4260. So this zone between 18 and 27 and this zone between 60 and 73 are the top and bottom of our squeeze right now, even though it's not that visible. Let's go on to NQ. NQ. And we'll step back out real quick. same kind of down channel and draw a resistance line. We broke through it. Thursday, hold back a little. Friday, we fall to it, tap it to keep going as it aligns with that zone right there. Overnight, we're back above it, right? And now we've settled into a 2-hour squeeze that's nice and defined, right? The bottom of which aligns with our pre-market lows down at 13,700. The top aligns with our zone here at 14,155. So kind of trapped between 13,700 and that 14,150. We have the daily 8 to keep an eye on today. The squeeze as well with the daily 21 up above. Pocket saying is 14,256, which puts us up at the top of the squeeze. So let's see if we find our feet. Maybe we hold and retest VWAP or hold and retest this zone that allowed us to bounce on Friday. And just to zoom in and get a better view, it's around 13,830, 13,844. 844 has been a key number that we played with all week, so I would not be surprised to see a fade back to holding this level today. We also have the daily Keltner here. If we can hold that, get up through this 2 and through the squeeze top, we'll have POC, the 15 and the 21 above to take out. Keep an eye on this channel that NQ is in, because we could just take a dip to VWAP, hold this channel, and get going today. Overnight it looked like YM was leading. I'd say now it's leading more to the downside, but we'll take a look. We'll see if tech has some strength today. Ready real quick. Even with the sell off that we had on Invasion News, it held the squeeze bottom and the second Keltner down and fought itself back to the mean. Already tapped the mean this morning and rejecting. We do have a nice 2-hour squeeze here and the daily squeeze. So we'll see. We also have this zone right at around 2,000. So let's say we might dip to the bottom of the zone. Maybe not get as far as pre-market low before we try to get going. But overall, if the market's going to slip, pre-market low aligns with the top of this zone below. So kind of have our targets to the downside. We've got our daily mean and POC up at pretty much right together. So the mean and POC are above. If we reject cash session, it could definitely set up a downside play. Now YM. Not the best recovery so far overnight, right? In fact, it traded such a sideways movement that it's got a tight 10-minute, or a 10-bar, 30-minute, sorry. So, it is up through its trend line from the highs, but kind of just sideways here. You know, if YM starts to go lower and potentially fire the squeeze down, it's going to be hard for the rest of the market to move up. They're basically going to follow. So we've got our pre-market high and low. We've got daily 8 and 21 up above. Looks like POC 34,800. That's still way above. So all that usually means is this was all low volume, and the monthly volume for February is still up above. Anyhow, watch this 30-minute squeeze. We are already rejected and slipped back to the middle of. We'll see if when we open, we want to dip to the bottom and hold it to set up nice long side plays today, right? But ultimately, if we lose this and start to head down, we are in a down channel. We could see more downside today. Individual names, let's go through them. Oh, and real quick, sorry, I do not want to lose sight of the task at hand. Let me do a quick drop here. There we go. Apple pretty much made it down to that daily 200 for an epic bounce right on back. Apple's going to be a great gauge, right? We have kind of rejected what is the trend from after hours now that we're back to it. So keep an eye on that. Maybe draw yourself a trend line there. I'm sure if we step down, our handy dandy tool is going to be doing it for us. Probably have to step a little higher. Yeah, anyhow. Let's zoom on in for covering individual names. Apple, pretty wide 1 hour squeeze. Is the 1 hour of the daily? Yeah, 1 hour. So nice wide 1 hour squeeze from 161 all the way up to 165. We've got a couple of key zones here. Let's see if we can hold pre-market lows and zone bottom to try and make our move to the upside and fill this gap. We are a couple points lower, so yeah. See if we get our recovery or our cover pop, get back to where we closed, see if we can fill the gap if we reject it and head back down, or if market is just weak and we go down to visit the bottom of these squeezes and 161 for a hold and then fight back through the zone at 162 to 164. I'll be watching obviously the 162 and a half, 165s, and then to the downside, the 160s and 162 and a half. You know, don't have to go too far from at the money on Apple for a good time. AMD chips. We're gonna see some chip strength. I'd say on Friday, Nvidia will cover it. Didn't look as strong, and chips, you know, basically had like one good pop and then they just kind of chopped around while other names moved a little better. But this morning, we're basically back up above this zone that we got through and then became support. So I would expect us to hold this 118 zone for a nice move to the upside. We do have a 1 hour squeeze that's nice and wide on AMD as well. In fact, we can't really see the bottom. I'll assume it's probably down here, but top of our squeeze aligns with our key level above that 122. If we can't hold 118, we're going to revisit the daily 8 at 116 and our key level below 114. So we're tracking between 114 and 122. These are very key numbers. So let's see which one we want to go test first. Watch your pre-market highs and lows. And keep an eye out for a 30-minute squeeze that could start to form as we get closer to open. Amazon. Great recovery. Right back at the daily 21. Not too hard of a gap down, actually. She's not down much, so relative strength on Amazon. I know she doesn't have a ton of pre-market action, so the gap down might not have affected her because she does open a little later usually, but either way, we've got our pre-market low. No real squeezes except the daily, which is pretty wide and spans from 2,800 to 3,300. So, on Amazon, we've got our pre-market high and low. We've got Friday's low and the psychological 3,000. Probably going to open right around 3050. And we've got our daily moving averages and liquidity all on a journey back to 3,100 and pocket at 3,130. So, got nice downside targets, nice upside targets. If we give out Friday's low, we could easily start tracking down, since we are at the mean, to back down to Keltner's, right? And our daily squeeze bottom, just looking at the whole week, right? But if we continue to move up on the market, we do have the daily 50 up above that we have not tested in quite some time. So would definitely be an epic test if we could get up there, and a nice move. But keep an eye on Friday's high and low, pre-market high and low. One's going to give first and give us an idea of direction. Facebook got way on down below 200 and made a great recovery back, but she's still down a ton since earnings, right? We do have squeezes in place that'll help provide a good guide today. We are between key levels at 205 and, the daily 8 right now. Daily 21 is still going to be way above because we are down near the, I believe, third Keltner down. Yeah. So we're trapped in between second and third Keltner at 212 and 200. So let's see, can we hold this 205, this squeeze bottom, make our way up, try and test 210, the daily 8, and the daily Keltner, and the squeeze top. But we'll probably be range bound today unless market moves considerably in a direction. Really, wouldn't be surprised for an inside day after all the movement we've had. But, the market. She's going to do what she wants. Google, great, let's see, we got down near 2,500, all the way back up to 2,700, so pretty darn good recovery. We do have a 30-minute squeeze going into open from 2654 up to 2700. We also have these key levels, 2646, 2669, 2696 on our way to 2700. So let's see what we get. Not pushing too high right now. Pre-market right around 67.70. So going to open pretty much in the middle, kind of closer to the bottom. So let's see if we slip, hold the bottom first, and set up a good long to get back to the daily 21. We also have the 200 at 27.16, and POC everything, all of our magnets up above. So we'd like to see a nice slip, maybe catch some good longs up there. Microsoft. Epic recovery back from 270 to get right back to 300. Oh man, excuse me. We're above this 290, 291 area. Held 292 this morning. Overall, it's below VWAP. We've seen some of our names over VWAP, so not huge interest on me with this down channel and everything, relative strength-wise. So I'll keep an eye on it this week. It's obviously mission back to 300. We've got daily 21, everything up above, POC as well. So basically want to see us hold 290, 291 and set up the upside. If that gives out, we could actually, visit this 280 range that we didn't really visit live. Oh no, I guess we did. This 270 range, which is more as I was thinking about. There we go. So if this 290 gives out, we've got our daily squeeze down below and our next Keltner at 288. So Netflix. Pretty clear wall here of sellers that kept us down from 391 and 391 and 391. So going to be resistance as we try to fight our way back up to that. We were setting in, higher lows, on our way to try to take that out. We've got the daily 15, daily 21 up above at 410. So definitely this week going to be watching the 400s, 410s as it makes its fight to this 391. If it just keeps rejecting, Gonna be watching these 375s, 370s, 365s for it to make a journey back through Friday's low to the daily Keltner down and this daily squeeze bottom. But we've got a nice 1 hour squeeze to play off of that spans from 380 up to 395 where POC is. So let's see if we want to retest 380, if we can hold pre-market low and just go up to test our daily 15 and POC that overlap. NVIDIA, the fan favorite. Got a big fat 1 hour squeeze. This is the 1 hour, right? Yep. We also have the daily squeeze. It's still intact. Gotta zoom way out to get that. Okay. Spans from 220 up to 270. Always worth noting those levels on the daily squeeze just to know the ranges that we could be playing with this week. If the market sees downside, we are going to retest the daily squeeze bottom, most likely, right? If the market can keep moving up and continue this rally, we could make a bid to get back to the squeeze top on the daily. So we do have this nice hourly, spans from our 233 up to 243. Definitely going to be watching 240s, 245s, 250s, 235s, 230s, 225s. Pretty much just sideways in this down channel with everything else right now. So let's see if it can hold Friday's lows. Mark those. We have a nice zone off of the supply-demand tool that aligns with our squeeze bottom. So if we keep this trend up of this downward trajectory, keep rejecting this 238 and pre-market highs, we'll make a run down to the squeeze bottom in this zone to find support and set up some great long opportunities. Also note the daily 200 is down at 231, just in case we keep slipping. It might be a test for that. Roku, pretty darn good recovery. Back at the daily 8, that's where she'll start to show, be interesting to me. If we can hold daily 8 and start pushing and get back to the mean, that means we're seeing some love back into Roku when she's been getting so beat up. So relative strength, she's in an upward trend this morning, right? We do have this zone above from Friday's pre-market high. We've got high from Friday and a squeeze top up at 140. So let's see. Decent relative strength, a little bit of a downtrend, but she could be strong and get up to 140 pretty quick at open if we see some tech strength. If not, and we go back down, we'll be seeing this 130 to 128 zone that I have drawn. Let's just hit Tesla real quick, and then I'll hit QQQ and SPY before we wrap up, because it is 9 a.m. And let me get the next batch of things kicked out. Sorry. There. All right, Tesla. After getting all the way down to 700, made it to bounce back and parked right at around 810. We do have, let's see, a 30-minute that it says is firing, but I'm assuming that's what this is. Yeah. So not quite firing yet. It's when it's in the middle of it, it's not firing. It's just reacting to this gap down and whatnot. So ultimately, we are back above this high from Thursday, this 803. Let's see if that can hold us at open, and the psychological 800. If we slip a little bit, a key level at 795, which aligns with the 30-minute squeeze. Then we have the hourly squeeze down at 790. So if market is weak and Tesla slips, I kind of expect it to hold this squeeze bottom and anywhere from the 785, 790 level. And 782 is Friday's low to set up some good longs. If we pop it open and start to reject highs from Friday, either the 813 or the pre-market high, which is up at the squeeze top, then we will slip on back and probably set up some nice shorts. QQQ. Oh, we've got an interesting wick. Right back up to the highs. So let's see, can we hold our 340 key level? I mean, 340 is pretty big. We've been playing at this level for a while on QQQ. So now that we're above it and we keep bouncing at it pre-market, let's see if it holds cash session and takes us on a journey through this key 343 and up to the highs around 345 from Friday. We only have a 2-hour squeeze in the daily, and the 2-hour is kind of thin, but it spans from 334 up to 346. Let's see if we go take out this wick if we hold this 341. But we could reject 343 as we already have, or reject these zones once we get up here and head back down to pre-market lows, right? So I'll be keeping an eye on the 340s, 338s down to 335s to the put side, and I'll be watching 340s up to 345s on the call side for today. SPY. Key levels. We're right at all of them. We held. We rejected, we held. Oh man, look at this. Okay, sorry. We open, hold, go up, reject, come back down and hold, back up to reject, start to make our way up to where the daily 8's going to open, and then we're slipping back. So here's your range for the day, right? 434, the daily 8, probably going to open right around 434.50, and that's 426. With key levels in between. So let's see if we slip down, hold this 428 since we're on this downward trajectory into open. Hold that 428, start taking off, back up to 434, 435, where we were basing yesterday on a bid to get back to the high after close at 438. If market is weak, we reject the daily 8. We could roll back over, retest the lows, and we've got pre-market lows from Friday back at 422. So I'm going to be watching the 430s down to 420s pretty much all week, and the 430s up to 440s pretty much all week. So we figure out if this rally continues, if we start going sideways, get some inside days, or if they've recovered enough and they want to short again, right? As always, let's check in on VIX. With the gap down, it's gapping way the hell up. But it's at the top of a daily squeeze, right? That's going to be key. And yes, we do have what looks like a 4-hour squeeze that's reaching outside of that. But top of a daily squeeze, we would love to see VIX reject here to really set up more upside, right? And get back above the 21, which is where we can really start thinking of a bull market again. So we'd love to see VIX reject this pre-market levels and this big old squeeze, daily squeeze top, start heading back down, right? But if it holds 30, 30 is going to be key. Right? That was the key rejection on Friday that allowed for more upside. So if we can hold, if it holds 30 and bounces, this could easily break out and go to test the 4-hour squeeze up above at 35. But we'd love to see it keep fading and get back to the lows from Friday, kind of filling the gap. So we do have the gap down. We are down, let's see, about 1% on everything. Right now it looks like Ready and NQ are trying to lead upside, not down quite as much. So let's see if this whole recovery can continue and fill the gap. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you in the trading room today.